but it's just something a little off about it for me. So I guess, man, what is your problem if any, with today's music in hip hop?
Well, what I think about it, I think that the way hip hop has proliferated around the world is great. The foothold, the access, the exposure, I think it's wonderful, man. Like, it's great. What I feel horrible about it though,
Explain that.
because it's so irresponsible. You know, to whom much is given, much is required. And we have this the number one genre, but
Yeah.
we are so irresponsible with it. And it's just true. And what I believe is that more of us who are the generation hip hop, we need to step up, and not in a way that's unkind, but not in a way that's complicit either. We're very complicit, and we're just accepting anything that comes out. Oh yes, like okay, well no, there's no, there's not enough content here. There's not enough truth here. What's going on? That's that. I think that's one of the differences, that when it began, there was a little more truth to the music. I think now the music is not as authentic. It's just kind of doing like what my daddy did, or what our fathers did, or what our mothers did. But we're talking about it, but we haven't done it. And I don't think they need to do it. I don't think they need to do it. I think there's all kind of stuff that we can talk about now that we couldn't talk about then. There's all kind of things we can talk about now, man. And there's all kind of things that we should be talking about. And it's up to some leadership, man. We got to step up as leaders, man, and really not just turn hip hop over to its own devices, but at the same time, man, realize and accept the fact that it is here and it is how it is. Okay, great. Now, how can we work just like the military? How can I go into this now? This is like my military now. How can I go inside this now and take it serious and work from the inside to effect change?
Same concept, ain't it? Same concept. The military now isn't the same as military then. Hip hop now isn't the same.
Right.
And if you were involved in either one in the past, you have to approach it now differently in this present time. Uh, Good stuff, man. You spoke a little bit about things that we could talk about now that we couldn't talk about then. I remember a few months ago, you posted something on your Instagram about you leaving or boycotting or something like that because of something that Louis Farrakhan said or done. And Louis Farrakhan has been, he's been out forever. He says what he says. Whether you agree or disagree, he says what he says. But apparently he was, I guess, canceled. He was like one of the first people that were canceled that I've been really like paying attention to, leading up to this whole cancel culture that we have going on now. I guess my question to you is, how do you feel, or what do you think about, censorship in the world today? Because before I let you answer that, like you just said, there are things we can say now that we couldn't say back then. But there are particular things that you can't say now that you could say back then. You know what I mean? Like, it's like things are really cross-changing and flipping now, especially on social media. Depending on the platform, you can speak about this, but you can't speak about that. So, Callie, what are your thoughts on the powers that be attempting to manage information and things that individuals like you and I are saying that they think is going to play an influence on people? What are your thoughts on
Good question. Okay, well, first, I think that with Louis Farrakhan, what I posted on my page, and it's still up there, is that I was protesting social media for protesting him. It was something that he said, I guess, that offended social media. And, you know, I didn't think that was fair. I don't think that's right. I don't think it's, and I'm not going to be complicit or participatory with the censoring of that just because whatever, because there are far more things. I don't care what he said. There are far more things much egregious than what Farrakhan, they perceive Farrakhan to have, what they interpreted him to say. You know, Louis Farrakhan speaks with a lot of truth. That's just real. And yeah, so that was more so my thing. It's like, okay, well, I know I'm one person, one voice, but oh well, I'm gonna stand up to it. You know, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and it may whatever, but I'll stand up. You know, I'll stand up. And I mean, even this, you've seen it. You know, so I don't know who's seen it or not, but hey, leadership doesn't look like anything else. Leaders don't follow, leaders create. So leaderships don't have the example, leaderships are the example. So hey, you know, sometimes that's what it takes, man. It just takes that one voice. You know, some people call it the butterfly effect. You know, they call it, you know, one small butterfly you can stir up and create hurricanes, you know, which, you know, I'm okay with the idea that, you know, small things can affect big change. You know, so with media censorship, social media censorship and the powers that be with that, for one, we got to understand that social media is not a public service. These are private companies. This is just like McDonald's refusing the right to serve anybody. So they do have that right to do that. You know, we don't have to have social media. We don't have to have Instagram. We don't have to have Facebook. You know, it's not like water. You know, you know. So I think with that, you know, we have to accept that as well, and realize that responsibility that we have to that as well. And if we want these companies to change in a more of a direction that's more in line and accord with our beliefs, our values, whatever the case may be, then we have to stand up. You know, we can't just be, it's not an excuse to say, okay, well, I have to go on here every day just because I'm just going on here every day to be on here 8 hours a day for whatever. And, oh, he took my social media off. Like, what are you doing with it, though? Not doing anything with it. Of course they could take it off, you know. But if we use it for what it can be used for, it can be a wonderful tool. You know, this is like we have the chance to write our own newspaper like every day. We have the chance to do our own TV show like every day, our own news show. We have the chance to do this stuff every day. And if we do it with sincerity and authenticity, you know, then we can really change the way it does. It does. But the fact of the matter is that most of us that use it, we use it for bullshit.
Right.
Okay? That's what
Absolutely.
it's used for most of the time. And they take advantage of it. That's why they have advertising, you know. It's about the profit with that part of it. And as it should be. It's a business. I'm a businessman. You know, I like to think of myself as one at least. And hey, man, if the demand is there, then why not take advantage of it? You know, and yeah, that comes with a responsibility. But so what? Their responsibility is not our responsibility. Our responsibility is our responsibility. You know, my responsibility is my responsibility. And by me being responsible, I can effect responsibility in someone else.
Great stuff, man. I appreciate all you said. Um, I do want to follow up with this, man. We got about 10 minutes left. Um, I get, like, you're spot on, right? Instagram, Facebook, these companies are not, to my knowledge, they're not publicly owned. This is their platform. They can put on who they want to put on. They can take off who they want to take off. Um, I don't know if you heard of social credit scores, but in China, they have a system there. Now, you know, China is a communist party. In China, they have a social credit system. And what that is on their platforms out there, They have their own platforms. They don't allow Facebook or Instagram in China. They have their own governed platforms.
Right.
And if you're on there, for example, like us, just me and you having a conversation about the government, they can view that content, and if they like or dislike what you said, they can deduct points off your credit score, off your social credit score. So it's not like you using the card. Now, I want you to research this now. Research social credit score. This is an actual thing that's happening. That's good, and that I believe is coming to America sooner than you think. But yeah. So you say something about the government. You say something about taxes or anything that doesn't align with their agenda. They can deduct points off your credit score, and that affects you just like a regular credit score. You probably can't buy this house. Probably can't get this job. You know, they're even attempting to control the monetary supply, so they can control your payments. They can take payments out your account like crazy amount of control that they have over there, all that they're building up to. So, like you said earlier, this is their platform. Now, let's travel back to America.
Okay.
This is their platform. This is Instagram platform. They can do what they want, like you said. But I guess my concern is how much, over time, how much more power are we going to give them? Because people are always going to use these platforms. I mean, I don't think Instagram's going for the next 10 or 20 years. And there's going to be another social media platform that's going to pop up. And it just seems to me, Callie, that the powers that be are getting more power. And they're getting more power. Facebook is basically intertwined with the government. The government uses Facebook data to keep tracks on us. And you can research that as well. So I guess, man, my question to you, where does this stop? Or do you see what I'm talking about? How little by little we're becoming more and more like China. We're becoming more socially governed. Shh, be quiet on that. Talk about this. Do this. Don't do that. Get vaccinated. Don't get vaccinated. I mean, get vaccinated and be quiet to those who saying don't get vaccinated. You know what I mean? So do you see this being a bigger problem or concern to you in the next 10, 20 years?
It's the next 10, 20 years, I don't know about. I do kind of like the idea of the social credit score, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, I tell you why. At first, it's shocking. It sounds appalling and revolting and all these things. However, when we think about it, though, intelligently, we think about it maturely, we already have that implemented on the sneak.
You're right.
You know, we can go apply a job. The first place a person is going to look on that job application, they're going to look at your social media, where they're Facebook, where they've been posting. You know, people, this is actually real now. And then we have that as far as like, you know, the government is using it anyway already. So, but if we're aware, see, the key to like life is awareness. You have ignorance or you have awareness, right? We can ignore things or we can be aware of things and take care of them. And death comes from our ignorance. If I'm ignorant that there's a cliff behind this wall and I just walk, I'll fall in that cliff. But if I'm aware if there is one, I can avoid it. So that is kind of, because that, what it does, it's kind of like a merit system. It kind of like, okay, well, hey, you've been posting irresponsible stuff. Now, of course, it's dangerous if it's controlled by the government and this and that. There's always going to be some danger. That's real. Danger is real. You know, fear is not. But danger is real. And I think with anything, there should be checks and balances and things like that. But I do like the idea kind of that, because then we can have that. Because, all right, look at it like now. These companies like Instagram and Facebook, man, Facebook is on Capitol Hill like every week. Turn on C-SPAN. You see somebody from Facebook being called to the carpet or called into some kind of interview or whatever, some kind of Zoom call or conference, whatever, and asking them about their responsibility with the data they collect or something like this, you know, with their users. So the government is involved because the government does have the oversight over business, over corporations. You know, corporations are, the government is a corporation itself. It's the ultimate corporation for our corporation, which is the United States of America. So they have oversight of the smaller corporations. Anytime you incorporate, that's why we have to go to the Secretary of State to get a license or to get certified. We have to go to the government, the big government, to get certified to be a little government. Because each corporation is like a little government. You got your own rules. You got to have a dress code. You don't have to have a dress code. You got to be here at this time. You got to do this job. You got to do that, whatever the case may be. So, yeah, I kind of like the idea of it because it creates a social responsibility, man, where we can't just be on here. We have to think about actually more so what we post and what we do, you know. But with that comes with the freedom of speech. You know, we have a constitution in this country. So, yeah, we should have freedom of speech, you know. But the same thing with freedom of speech comes the wings, right? Comes the wings that help it fly. Like we can't run into a crowded movie theater and yell fire or bomb without suffering the consequences. If there's no bomb, no fire, you can be held liable, you know, for all those whatever consequences occur. But if there is one, you have a responsibility to say so. You know, and you have the opportunity to say so. You can say that. You have the freedom to do that. So, yeah, I think with that, it kind of goes hand in hand. I mean, I don't think it's something too bad to implement. But like I said, only if it's in autocracy, then that's different. You know, if it's only controlled, it's going to be controlled by the government to regulate to beat people down. Then of course you got to deal with that. But yeah, I don't feel too bad about that part.
Interesting, man. Interesting. I wasn't expecting to hear that from you, bro. And I'm not saying that I necessarily disagree wholeheartedly with that because I mean you need some regulation. Everything can't just be, I guess, just wide open. You know, I
Yeah.
think certain things need regulation. But I just feel like I don't think America will be better off being more like China. You
No,
know
I
what I
don't.
mean?
I don't think America needs to be more like China. I think America needs to be more like America. And I don't
Yeah.
think that any relationship with it, see, it should not be antagonistic. It should be a partnership. You know, if we come from the aspect that we're trying to create more of a partnership between the citizens of America and the government of America, whatever, as to where, okay, no, you can say what you want to say, this and that. You can do what you want to do. You have the freedom to whatever show you want to make a show about underwater basket weaving, go for it. You know, you want to make a show talking about the president, go for it. You know, whether it's good or bad, you know, but we got to take the good with the bad. We can't just, okay, well, you can say, you know, unicorns and rainbows and pink elephants, but you can't say, you know, black rhinoceroses and, you know, coral snakes. You can't say that. Like, why not? If I can talk about this, then why can't I talk about that? You know? So, I don't know, man. I don't know if that makes any sense or not.
No, I'm with you, man. It's a double-edged sword, man. Yeah, we need more regulation, like you said, but I guess for me, it's who is making the main decisions? Who is saying it's okay for this and not for that? Who's doing that?
We are us. We are the participants. The level of responsibility that we engage in participation is how everything will be ran. We don't engage, we don't exercise our responsibility. We don't exercise our duty enough. We don't engage enough. We just want me, me, me. We come with our hands out for things, but we don't necessarily come to help out. You know, service, that's a big thing, man. Service. We can't, life is about service, man. We all need each other. Somebody created this phone that we're talking on. Somebody created this platform. Somebody created this desk. Somebody created this suit. Somebody created this shirt. We all need each other. And that's what we have to realize. And once we can do that, man, more and be more aware of this interdependency that we have in the human experience, then we can affect more happiness. You know, we can bring more joy to ourselves and things like that, man. But that's the thing. We're just getting away from ourselves as far as being selfish, man. We're so involved in ourselves and our own selfish tendencies without thinking about others, but without just being aware that we need other people to
Bro,
partner.
man, Oh, go ahead. Finish,
No,
please.
I'm saying partnership. I'm finished.
Bro, that would be that's great what you said, man. And that's gonna be a great spot to end today, man. This was excellent content, bro. I think you need your own podcast, man. You need your own podcast, bro.
I tell you what, I'm honored to be here, man. I would be happy to do a podcast with you anytime, man.
Right. Thank you, man. Thank you. And real quick, man, I got one more thing for you. Any questions for me before we go? I asked all my guests this. But any question you have for me before we go?
I was going to ask you about that social credit score thing. What you think about it? I think you answered that though.
Bro, I'm scared of it, man, to be honest. But like you said, bro, we kind of already live in a social credit society. I just think that China, and once you research it, you'll see, but China is just taking it a whole another level as far as like, I mean, come on, they're gonna, I say something and I can't get a job. I mean, well,
okay.
It's the same. Go ahead.
I got a question for you then. Okay. What's the difference between the social credit score idea and the regular credit score idea the FICO credit score idea that we have now?
Well, one is strictly for monetary reasons, right? They want to see if you're going to pay back a debt. If you, like, if I owe money, am I going to pay this back promptly on time? So if I'm about to buy a house, they want to know if I'm responsible to keep up with the mortgage on this house before they give it to me. That's how. But social credit score, I think, is just, I'm not trying to buy a house. I'm just trying to have an opinion. So you're going to take away my phone. You're going to limit features on my device because I have a certain opinion about something. You're going to tell me I can't go here or I can't move there because I feel this type of way. I don't know, Kelly. I just feel like that's kind of what's the word? Totalitarian or authoritarian type of government system. So I feel
it's kind of the same though, because your credit score affects where you live, right? It affects what you can do, what you can buy. It affects what
you can't get certain jobs with a bad credit score too.
Yeah, so I feel it's kind of the same, man. It's just two sides of the same coin.
I got you. I got to think about it a little more, man. I'm gonna think about it a little more. But Callie, man, thank you, man, for this hour, bro. It was great, man. It was great. I'm gonna post this on my YouTube for everyone to see, man. Do you want to shout out your Instagram or phone number anyway? You want to get in contact you in regards to anything?
Sure, yeah. OG Cali Joe. And that's on Twitter, that's on Instagram, and anywhere else, YouTube or whatever. And if you want to email me at joseph@josephcmoore.com.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. Shout out to everyone who's watching. We got 3 viewers now. Shout out to all 3 of y'all for watching this whole time. Callie, man, again, thank you, man. Great show, great content, and I appreciate you, man. But you have a blessed rest of your Sunday, man.
Bless you, Dash, man. Much love.
Thank you, bro. Much love. Peace.